Hi everyone, I hope you're doing well. I wanted to do a quick video here on a little bit of what we covered last chapter, chapter 3 in the book, which went over the building blocks, including saving that to a template, because this week I'm just going to have you cover the very first part of chapter 4, where you customize your themes and you change a few things in regards to that as far as your styles and that sort. But once we get to the macros part, we're going to stop there this week in chapter 4. So we're not going to cover the full chapter this week. But what I wanted to do is just to make sure that, sometimes you're working through the book and it's easy to follow the book, but kind of get to the end of the chapter and not really know if you know what you did. So I want to make sure that there's an understanding of templates, first of all, in working in templates in Word. So I'm just starting with a blank document here, but I do want to go to the File menu and just go to New for a second, and just know that anytime, when you go to the New menu, you see all the different templates that are available to you here. And you might not see the exact same thing that I'm seeing, especially if you have maybe you guys might have 2019. We're still working on campus here in 2016, but you all always have the option to look up different templates. It's also good to know that you can create your own template. So for instance, if you didn't know that, the blank document that you always open is technically a template. It's what they call the normal.doc template. And what that template does is it has the normal style chosen and it has specific fonts chosen and so on. But what I want to go over today is how you can make your own template and especially using those building blocks to do that. So, but I wanted to make sure on just a couple things to make sure you're understanding the templates. So first of all, what I'm going to do is go to my Insert tab here and just bring in a couple of the quick parts that we did last chapter. So I'm going to bring in this letterhead quick part, and actually I'm going to undo that, already going off script here. I want this to actually be in the header. So I'm going to work in my header here. I'm going to go to Insert, Quick Parts, and I'm going to bring in this header, this letterhead into my header. The reason I'm going over this is because you're going to do this in the homework. One of the assignments for this week is going to be doing this. Then I'm going to move down to the footer and I'm going to insert that quick part in the footer as well, or the footer in there. So again, you're going to have the opportunity to do this in the homework. Now this one, I think I'm going to go in. Just remember for your header and footer, you can adjust where that appears on the bottom. So I'm going to adjust this a little bit to move my footer down just a little bit there. I think that looks a little bit better. So if you remember last week, we did the headers and footers. We saved them as quick parts. Remember you can create it on your screen, and then you go to Insert and we go to Quick Parts, and then we can save the selection to the Quick Part Gallery. So you're going to have to do something very similar to this week. And so a couple things I just want to remind you of when you do get to that point. One thing you're going to do this week is create a signature block also. So I'm just going to create one here quickly with my name. I want that to be I just hit Shift Enter again, just a reminder of a shortcut to move down to the next line. Just to get a quick signature here. I did it again. Shift Enter. So let's say we did this last week and you're going to, again, do this on your homework. So if I want to select this and on my Insert tab, I'm going to Quick Parts and I can choose Save Selection to Quick Part Gallery. Now, one thing I do want to mention is right here where it says Save In right here. This is what I really want you to pay attention to when you're doing the assignment, because I'm going to have you create a template for the Humane Society of Sheboygan. You're going to create a letterhead template for them. And every quick part you do, the letterhead you're going to create, the signature you're going to create, and the footer you're going to create, I want you to be sure that you're saving this in the template that you're going to create. So actually, I'm going to do that real quick here. I'm going to create a template. I'm going to go to File, Save As, and you did this again last week in the homework. I'm just going to save this to my desktop here. And I'm going to call this letterhead template. And then I'm going to change my save as type and save it as a Word template. And I always know it's a template because it has that .x at the end of it. So I'm going to choose Save. And so I can see that it's saved as a template here. So now, again, I'm just going to come back in here and I'm going to save this as a quick part, quick parts, save selection to quick part gallery, going to call this signature, and I'm going to make sure it's saved in the letterhead template. Okay. Now I can delete this because I don't really need it anymore. I'm just saving it as a quick part, because if I go into my quick parts here, there it is. I'm also going to save the headers in there as well. So I already had them saved last week. So I'm just, a quick easy way to adjust it would be to right click on in there and edit properties. And I'm going to tell it to save these also to the letterhead template, just so that I have an example to go off of here when we're working on this. I'm going to do the same thing for this one, tell it to save it to the letterhead template. Click OK and OK. So right now I could I can come back in here, I could delete everything, I could take it all out if I want to. I just want to do this to show you how this is all going to work. Delete for me, please. Why is this not deleting? It's being a pain. Delete. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to just save my letterhead template. I have nothing in here. The other thing I'm going to do, and which I would encourage you to do when you're doing this assignment, and I even tell you in the directions, to set up this assignment as though it's going to be a letter. So the other thing I'm going to do, because this is going to be a template that I'll use to create letters, I'm going to choose the no spacing style, because then I know, and actually I'm going to back up here to make sure I'm at the top of my letter, then I know that I have the spacing. When I choose a no spacing style, my spacing has switched to 1.0 spacing, and I have no before and after spacing in my paragraphs. So all that is set. I'm going to hit save one last time for my letterhead template, and I'm going to close it. And here's the actual assignment that you're going to find. I hope that all of this makes sense. I try and lay it out so that it makes sense to you. But basically, you're going to be creating a letterhead for the Humane Society. I've included a file for you in Blackboard that you can use their logo and such. But then you're going to go out to their website and do a little searching, find their address, all that information. You set up the letterhead that you think looks nice for them. I'm also going to have you create a footer, just very similar to the footer we just saw here, where there's just a nice quote maybe at the bottom. You could put in anything else you want, but at least a quote in the bottom of that footer. So what I want to show you now is if you want to actually use your letterhead, I'm going to go to File and Close here so I don't have any files open. And there we go. If I come up, so here's the file that, where's the file that I just saved? Okay, so the file that I just thought I saved is not here on my desktop when I thought that's where I saved it. So this is good. It's always great when I make a mistake so I can show you what might happen at your home when you're working on this. The one thing you'll always find when you save files as templates is Word is going to always try and put it where it thinks it should go. So my hope is, yep, here it is right here. Here's my template. So Word put it where Word thinks a template should be saved and go, and I didn't change that when I went in there. So just be aware of that. If you think you've saved it to where you normally save, you're going to have to find the custom templates folder to look for that template that you created. So anyway, here I'm going to go ahead and double click on this template to open a file. And I just want you to notice it doesn't say letterhead template here. It says document 16. And yours would do the same. Just like when you open a file from the blank document template, even though it's not called that, it calls your document 1, 2, 3, 15, 16, whatever it is. Same thing here. It's opened the template for me. Nothing here. Notice the no spacing style is selected. Just as I selected, I have my cursor at the top of the document. I should be able to go to Insert here, go to Quick Parts, and there's all of the parts that I just saved to my template are in there. So you want to make sure, absolutely sure, that when you save those quick parts, you save it to the template that you're turning in. Otherwise, it all looks like it's there for you in Word, but when I open the file on my end through Blackboard, they will not be there. They'll probably only be appearing in your document. So just make sure, be absolutely sure that you've saved it to the quick part. When you save it to the quick part gallery, that you're choosing that template there at the bottom. One other thing, oops, didn't mean to do that. One other thing I just want to show you in regards to templates in general is if you would want to change the template itself, you have to open it differently. So at some point you might want to adjust or change the letterhead, the actual template itself. And obviously if you double click on it to open it, it's going to open a file from the template, not actually open the template itself. So if I wanted to go in and change my template for any reason, I could right click on it and choose open. And now notice again at the top here, now I have actually opened the template itself. Any changes I would make to it would save to the template itself. It wouldn't be opening a new document here for me as most templates would do. So once again, what I'm looking for in this assignment that you're doing is you're going to create a letterhead for the Humane Society. And if I could open it here, I'll open it here quickly again, just so it's in front of you. I don't know if I think I might have not have just opened the right file. My computer's being weird. Here we go. Okay. So again, you're going to set up your document just as you would a letter. So I put in here, hint, the no spacing style. You're going to create a letterhead header for the Humane Society. Local is provided. So you'll see I have that uploaded into Blackboard. You'll need to find the address and information. You're also going to create that footer, and you're going to create a signature block for like the person who's going to be sending the letter. Completely make up that information. You can change the colors, or using the colors in the logo, you can create a custom color palette in Word, create some changes, some of the things that you worked through in chapter 4. Then you're going to save it as a template. So make sure you're saving as a template, and then all the elements that you created, make sure you add all of them to the Quick Parts organizer. So like I was just saying, you'll click on the header, you'll select it, you'll go to Insert, you'll go to Quick Parts, you'll choose Save Selection. So as I just did this, I just want to point out to you, notice all those headers I just had in there that were saved to the letterhead template are not showing now because I don't have the letterhead. I haven't opened a file from that template, so that's why they're all gone here. Anyway, sorry, sidetracked. Save selection to the Quick Part gallery. Again, you're going to do that for the header, the footer, and the signature, and making sure that you're choosing to save it with your template. And then once you do that, you'll delete the signature off of that document. You'll keep the header and footer. Go ahead and save the header and footer in the template, just so that anytime you open up that template, the Humane Society header and footer would open. And then you'll close the template, save the template, close it, and then you're going to open a new document from the template. So again, that just means you're double clicking on the template. It's going to open a new blank document from the template. And then you're going to create a mail merging fundraising letter. So you're going to write the letter yourself on behalf of the Humane Society, and you're going to ask them to help fund the fundraiser that they're doing. And it just so happens that the Humane Society is doing a huge capital campaign right now, is to create, to build a new building. So there's lots of information on their website out there that you can grab from. I did note here, note somewhere in the letter you're enclosing their wish list. So you just create, as part of your letter, say that there's a wish list that'll be enclosed, and then don't forget that enclosure notation when you write your letter. So there's a fundraising spreadsheet that's part of your data that you're going to use for your data source to create that mail merge. And then you're going to use the correct block style letter formatting. So we've done that how many times already? You make sure you use block style. You'll complete the merge. And then when you're all finished, you're going to upload 3 different documents. You're going to upload the actual template itself, so the one that has the .doc at the end of it. And then the letter that shows the merged fields, the letter that shows like the address block, the signature line, the greeting, and so on. And then you're going to also upload the file that has all the merged letters in it. So there'll be 3 different files that you're going to upload to Blackboard. So this video has gotten plenty long, but I hope that this gives you a little bit more insight into templates and that all makes sense to you in the end. If not, please let me know if you have any questions and reach out. Thanks. Another thing I just wanted to quickly mention is, as you all probably hopefully know, next week is spring break. So you'll notice all the due dates are pushed out a little bit further because we're on spring break this week. So again, enjoy your spring break, and let me know if you have any questions.